All right. Shalom. First and foremost, I would like to give all praise and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Kakwadash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS, whom rule well, teach well, being great examples to his younger brothers. And peace and blessing salutations to the hopeful elect out there pushing this word and truth and in sincerity across the four winds in the name of Yahweh Bashem Al Shai, pushing it get up out of here. Shalom to the hopeful elect, the believers, the listeners, whom have came back to the obedience of the scriptures through faith in Yahweh Bashem Al Shai. All right, and what I want to go into today, is for the elect's sake. All right, not the community. Okay, and before we go into it, just to lay, the groundwork of this lesson, the foundation. All right, because what you have amongst, these certain groups, they're all right, visible, in the community. They do a lot of things outside, of teaching the word, which is going into the community and being visible and being seen and doing these extracurricular activities, which, we don't knock that. That's what you want to do. You have an organization and, you want to, you know, uh, be visible in the community. That's on you. But one thing that you can't do is try to make it seem that this is what the ministry is about. Okay. You cannot make it seem as if the ministry is about us being active, in the community. All right. Understanding what we know, the Lord is getting ready, okay, to bring Jacob trouble. All right, the Lord is finna get active in these communities. Okay, He's finna undo, all right, and judge a lot of wickedness that goes on in the so-called black community, man. Okay, because one thing we have to stop doing is playing these games as if Jake is just this innocent victim, chilling in the community. No, man. Okay, Jake is the cause of a lot of their own effect. Okay, a lot of the situations, you got the curses. All right, the curses are in full effect, which puts us as in a disadvantage as a people. Okay, but Jake enhances the curses, man, with their decision making. All right, the men and women. Okay, they enhance the curses with their poor decision making, and the truth, all right, is pushing, all right, wise decision making. All right, and a lot of our people refuse this truth, so they get the results that they get. Okay, and it's not on us, all right, to go run behind our people in the community to try to make them receive the truth or receive this word, man. No, we're not tasked to do that. Okay, we're not going to begin to do that. And no one can make us feel guilty because we're not visible in the community, okay? That ain't what we're called to do. And we're gonna get all these things, man, and the apostles and elders, they push heavily, that this thing is about the elect. Okay, this truth, this ministry is for the elect. Okay, Elder Apostle Gabar, he pushes that all the time. All right, and that's why it's titled, for the elect's sake, or that's inspired by a a precept in Second Timothy 2:10. It says, "Therefore I endure all things for the elect's sake." Okay, Apostle Paul said he endured all things for the elect's sakes, that they may also obtain salvation, which is in Yahweh Shai Hamashiach, with eternal glory. Now, the elect, all right, as we preach this word, the elect will be drawn and gathered by this word. Those are characteristics of someone that's potentially of the hopeful elect. Now, are there situations where, you have people that can come in, be drawn into this word and fall out? Absolutely. And do you have people, there's a possibility that they can be in the world and being drawn in? Absolutely. Okay. But we're not here, okay, to go chase up behind Jake, you know, and beg them to get it. Okay. If they come in and stay in, that's all of the Lord. Okay, if they come in and fall out, that's all of the Lord. All we're here to do is just preach sound doctrine, man. Be consistent. Even in our off-camera life, we're not just walking around being assholes to Jake. Okay, now me personally, I avoid Jake as much as possible. But there's certain situations where, hey, you gotta be around Jake. You gotta be around Eve, and you gotta be around them in certain instances. And it's not a thing of being an asshole to them. And if you're in a position to, help Jake, in the you in the little circumstance, you can help Jake. Okay, you can help Eve. You in the little small circumstance. You got, two baskets full of groceries. All right, and Jake behind you with some deodorant. Okay, you let Jake go in front of you. Like I said, we not just out here being assholes to Jake, but we are moving in wisdom. Okay, we do good wherever we can. All right, but we don't put a lot of energy and effort to go in and run behind. All right, the community and trying to be visible and trying to be seen because a lot of it is for vain clout. Okay, so let's go here because as we endure all things for the elect's sake, that means the Lord put the Spirit on us, extra mile for those that believe. We're here to go the extra mile for the believers, man. Okay? For our people that show no interest in the truth, man, hey, they get limited energy, time, and resources, man. Very limited. Okay? And the horn went off. All right, so um let's just go into because it's simple. Okay, we don't have to make this thing hard. Now we can't say for certain, who's the elect and who's the non-elect. All right, but the Lord gives us signs. All right, who could be the potential elect? Okay, He gives us signs that hey, this could be potential 2/3, and we act accordingly. Okay, but we ain't walking around stamping. Okay, this the elect, this the non-elect. But we just act okay according to how people respond to this word. Okay? You brothers and sisters, you're on this live stream, you're constantly here on this live stream. Well, guess what? You know, we, all right, are dedicated to making sure that you're fed. That's where our time and resources and energy, is spent amongst those, all right, who show interest in Yahushua. Okay? Now, when you go here, let's get this in the book of St. John, chapter 10. All right, and Yahushua made it plain, two occasions, St. John 10 and in 26 it says, but ye believe not, okay, because you are not of my sheep, as I said unto you. So Yahushua just came out and said it plainly. You believe not because you're not of my sheep. Okay? This is not no calculus equation. Okay? This is not trigonometry, man. Okay? This is not physics. Okay? You're not of the, if you don't believe, you're not of the sheep. Okay? At this moment, if you don't believe, you're not in this fold. Now, because the Lord, because if you hear this word and you don't receive it, either you're not of the fold, you're not of the sheep, or it's not your time yet. Okay, but we're not here to chase you down. Okay, in hopes that you get it. All right, guess what? Because when it's time for you to get it, if you hear this word and you don't come right in, but guess what? When it's time for you to get it, the Lord still going to have His men preaching and teaching His word set up. All right, His word is going to be right here, ready for you when the Lord has that appointed time for you to wake up. Okay, this word is going throughout the earth, searching out the elect, man. Okay, feeding Jake barbecues and all these different things. Jake, like Yahushua said, he told them, look, y'all just here because I multiplied the fish, man. There's a lot of people that started to follow Yahushua just to see, some entertainment, to see a back and forth between him and the Pharisees, to see some miracle, to be fed. They thought Yahushua was a walking gimmick. And he told them, man, y'all just here because y'all got fed, man. you know, and that's what Jake would do. Jake is always looking for an opportunity to play the victim and look for a handout. Cause Jake is proud and entitled in their wickedness, man, and they think they owe something. Okay, don't nobody owe niggas nothing, man. And that violent stories that niggas, all right, love to come with about their product or their environment, nigga, you are the environment. Okay, all the the narrative of this single mother, she the victim and she just been done wrong over and over again. No, you made poor decisions over and over again. Okay? So that narrative, all right, is played out. Okay, the violin, the spirit done took that violin that niggas and the nigga woman love to play and broke it in half, man, and threw the stick in the bushes, man. Okay? That's played out. All right? This is St. John 10:26. But ye believe not, because you are not of my sheep. As I said unto you, my sheep hear my voice, and I know them, and they follow me. So the sheep of Yahushua, they come to Yahushua, which is the voice of the prophets, the true men that Yahushua set up. My sheep follow me. Okay? Not us going to follow the potential sheep in hopes that a nigga get it. Nah, man. That's ass backwards. Okay? Our people are, this word is a calling out. You go into church, it goes into a calling out. Okay? So this word is calling out, and the sheep of Yahushua, they hear this word and they come to the summoning. You know, the elect are being summoned by this word. A king summons people, man. Okay, and if you reject the summoning, all right, the king takes offense to that, man. Okay? So let's go here, let's get another one to prove. Yahushua was always breaking it down plainly to him, because you had wicked niggas trying to figure out why they couldn't get it, you know, why they were so offended at his teaching, and he would tell them, all right, look, you just not of my sheep, all right, St. John 8:43, and it says, St. John 8:43 says, why do ye not understand my speech? And this Yahushua speaking. Even because you cannot hear my word. So Yahushua, like, why you can't understand what I'm saying? Okay? It's because you can't physically hear. Like, can you hear what I'm saying? Okay, then he jumps down, all right, and he says, verse 47 says, he that is of the most high heareth God's words. Ye therefore hear them not, because you are not of the most high. So when we teach, okay, and the way that our people react to this word, okay, because you can go around Jake and Jake can be cool and you can chill with Jake, you can drink Hennessy and eat chicken, with your uncle. He can make you laugh, and auntie, him and your auntie, fussing, and you can kick it with Jake to a certain degree, okay. But start bringing this word out, okay. Start bringing this word out, man, and watch how the whole atmosphere change, man. You see, we judge people according to how they react to this word. This is how we judge, because the scriptures say what? Try the spirit by the spirit. So you try the spirit of a person by the spirit of this word, the spirit of this book, because the spirit of Yahushua is embodied in this word. So when we start to bring out the true talking points of the scriptures, and you see what our people get offended immediately, okay? So we try our people by this word, okay? And like I say, if you want to be a community activist in your free time, cool. We ain't knocking that, man. Okay, you helping Jake graduate, and you helping Jake find jobs and careers. That's cool. We not against that, man. Okay, but don't make it seem as if this is what the ministry is about. Don't make this seem like this is the Lord's work. The Lord's work when you're doing something like that. And then if you're really sincere with it, you don't have to publish that, man. Okay? The benefit, your reward should be, you help someone be in a better situation, and that should be reward enough. No one even has to know you did it. You know what you did. Okay? The people you did it for, they know what you did. No one else should have to know what you did. If you did it in sincerity, man. Okay? And why scriptures talk about secret love. Okay? You don't have to publish everything you do, man. You do it because you actually want to see that person in a better situation. Okay? Not because you can get some clout from it. Okay? That's all you heard Jake was saying. We doing this and we doing that. Man, who are you? You need salvation. Okay? Jacob's trouble is still on the way. So who are we to say we did this and we did that and we in a position where we helpless, man? Okay? When it comes to the judgment that the Lord's finna bring to the earth, man. Okay, what Esau Edom is prepping to do. Because a high school diploma ain't gonna prepare Jake for Jacob's trouble. Okay? You having Jake, married off ain't gonna prepare that family for Jacob's trouble, man. Okay, we have to be built up in Yahushua during this grace period, man. Okay? So let's go from there. You see? So the Yahushua said it plainly. All right, and Yahushua is the measuring stick. Okay, and how people react to Yahushua, that's a indicator of what their potential is. If they believe and they begin to follow His word, they repent, they begin to grow in Yahushua, there's a great chance that they're the elect. That's why we call what the hopeful elect. Like the brother, YouTube handle, it's called hopeful elect. Okay, the brother Yaquab. All right, the way they react to Yahushua, all right, is an indicator that they could be of the hopeful elect, or it's a great chance they could be of the 2/3. Okay, and we just act accordingly to what's how people react real time. Okay, why would we have a big community event, 300, 400 people, all right, but only 2 of them are sincere about Yahushua. The other 298 just dare to eat and kick it. Okay, there will be a waste of time and resources, man. Okay, we want to spend their time and resources edifying those that are sincere, the serious minded. Okay, so when you go to the book of Luke, chapter 2, all right, we'll get to the point. This is Luke 2:34. It says, and Simeon blessed them and said unto Mary his mother, behold, this child is set for the fall and rising again of many in Israel, and for a sign which shall be spoken against. Yeah, a sword shall pierce through thy own soul also, that the thoughts, all right, of many hearts may be revealed. So Yahweh Shai will be the measuring stick to where when you bring out Yahweh Shai, okay, how people react, that's how we measure them. Okay, when we bring out Yahweh Shai, it's plenty of times where Jacob come to the camp and you'll see the brothers interacting, and as soon as they get one precept, okay, then out of there. Like them little chicks, Elder Manata Zakba, he brought out that one precept about moderate apparel, and what did Eve do? She flew out of there. What the video of the chicken flew the coop? She got out of there. And that's what we measure by. Because guess what? We all heard this word, but hey, you had men like it's you brothers, you sisters. Okay, you heard the word 2 years ago, and you've been here ever since. You heard the word 4 years ago, you've been here ever since. 8 years ago, 10 years ago, and you've been here ever since. Okay, and then you have our people. You bring out one precept, and they turn to you saying both. You see? So Yahweh Shai was for the rise and the fall of many in Israel, man. Okay? So the elect are going to rise and build on Yahweh Shai. Okay? Because guess what? When you started building, what you got to start from the foundation, Yahweh Shai being their chief cornerstone. And then you start to what? See that building go up. you know? Edification means what? Build up. Okay? So the believers, they will hear Yahweh Shai and they will begin to build, all right, on Yahweh Shai. Okay? But then you have those that will hear this word and they will get out of there. They will scram. Okay? Let's go here. All right? This ain't no rocket science. Like I say, arithmetic. Okay? This ain't what is it, EMC 2 squared. This ain't quantum physics. All right? How they react to Yahweh Shai is the determination, man. Of how we react to them. And even if they don't get it, look, we don't even spend energy and time getting mad as we mature in this thing. Like a nigga don't get it, we just moving on. Okay? We not waiting on Eve to clean up her ways. We just moving on. Okay? We definitely not trying to inject ourselves into Eve's poor decision making with them badass kids and them degenerate ass baby daddies and try to play clean up. Okay? We not here to be the neighborhood stepfather. All right? None of that shit. Okay? And some brothers are say, we done did that. Okay? Them niggas ain't doing nothing new. All right? So let's go here. All right, to Sirach 39 and 1. Not 39:24. Matter of fact, I read 1 too, because we're gonna get into that. All right, this Sirach 39 and 1. It says, "But he that giveth his mind to the law of the Most High, and is occupied in the meditation thereof, will seek out the wisdom of the ancient, and be occupied in prophecies." Man, we're occupied in prophecies, man. Okay, we're not here to, because you got to do something for the community. You got to plan the event. You got to get the venue. You got to get the food. You got to do this. You got to get servers. You got to get volunteers. You got to coordinate all this, man. Okay, and you know how people are unorganized as hell, man. So you gotta do all these different things, man. While all this prophecy is going on, and that's why, in them in IUIC, ISUPK, them guys able to have all their free time to do that because all their members don't teach. All the men don't teach. Okay, GMS is a camp of teachers, man. It's a camp of prophets, man. Okay, that's what we specialize in. Going into the word, looking out what's happening to the earth and breaking it down according to the word, man. Okay? Going into the depths of the scriptures, man. This is what we're here for, man. This is our lot in this thing, man. Okay? Not to be community activists, man. Okay? Like I say, well, if you do that, cool, but that's not our lot. That's not what we're here for, man. Okay? And we're gonna keep expounding on it. In Sirach 39:24, it says that his ways are plain unto the holy, so are they stumbling blocks unto the wicked. Okay, so just as the Lord's ways are plain unto the holy, because what Jake do, even with Sakari now, you see when Sakari get around, all right, the world, he starts conforming to them. Cause they'll try to make it seem like Yahweh Shah just was around niggas and just around niggas every day. Nah, man. Okay? He was around the hopeful elect and they was being converted unto him. Okay? He was bringing them over to him. He was swaying them to him. Okay? He wasn't amongst the zealots, claiming zealots. Okay? But acting like he was for their cause. Nah, man. He was teaching the kingdom. He was teaching the same thing that he was teaching amongst. All right, and that's the thing. We not partial, man. We don't act like, that just because Jake from the hood or from the projects, that they get some special treatment in the truth. Nah, man, the Lord put them niggas there, man. Okay? The Lord put Jake in this situation. We don't know what Jake done in the past, man. Okay? At the end of the day, all right, hey, we teach the same way to Jake from the country backwoods, Jake that's higher up in society. Jake might be of the upper echelon. Okay, Jake in the hood. We teach the same message the same way, man. We're not partial with this thing, man. Like we gotta conform to niggas, you know, for them to come in. Now we can relate to, we're relatable, and that's why brothers come from all different demographics, man. And brothers come from them same situations. Okay, sisters come from them same situations and come into this truth and begin to build and to grow and become new creatures, man. Okay, so we way beyond excuses for niggas or acting like the niggas in the ghettos in the hood get special treatment. Okay, when it comes to the ministry, nah, man. Okay, we're gonna handle them the same way we will handle a celebrity nigga, the same way we will handle Jake that's in the professional world, same way that Jake, okay, in the slums. Okay? Now at the end of the day, all right, like I say, we relatable, so we understand, certain uh, 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 mindsets that Jake come with, and we get it. Jake, that's sincere, man. We get it. Okay. Well, I say we not here to pity pat with these niggas, man. Cause the last thing that a nigga need, all right, is a crutch. Okay, and another opportunity to play victim. Okay. Nah, man, the Lord is holding everybody accountable. We're constantly being held accountable, man. We teach this word and we still catch hell, man. We still are tormented in certain areas, man. Like, god damn. Okay? So they playing to the holy, but to the wicked, they stumbling blocks, man. All right. So as we bring out Yahweh Shai and we see the response on our people, that's how we move. We move according to that, man. Okay. So let's go here. I want to get these accounts in the book of Tobit. All right. Because like I said, we're not here. It's the book of Tobit, chapter 2. Now, Tobit was a very charitable Israelite. You know, you go into the book of Tobit, like Tobit was extremely charitable, man. And he was always looking out, for his people. Okay? But guess what? Tobit had a standard. All right, and we're gonna read it. It says, this is Tobit 2:1. It says, now when I was come home again, this is Tobit speaking, and my wife Anna was restored unto me with my son Tobias in the feast of Pentecost, which is the holy feast of the 7 weeks. There was a good dinner prepared me, in the which I sat down to eat. And when I saw abundance of meat, I said to my son, go and bring what poor man soever thou shalt find out of thy brethren, who is mindful of the Lord, and lo, I tarry for thee. Okay? So he Tobit sent his son Tobias. He seen he had more than enough. And he sent his son now to go, look, any poor men of your brethren that you see, bring them back so they can get some of this food. But make sure it's someone that's mindful of the Lord. Okay, and the majority of our people, they're not mindful of the Lord. The community is cooked. Okay, you're talking about the community. The majority of our people, the black community, is cooked. Okay, if the Lord wants to deal with you, he draws you out of that shit and brings you to Him. Okay, if the Lord, wants you, all right, He wants you to be delivered. He calls His word to grab you out of it, okay, and pull you to Him. The scriptures say how what we will be gathered by the word. How He called us into darkness, into this marvelous light. All right, so this word is going out and it reaches and grabs, okay, the elect, and it draws the elect unto Him. Okay, so the Tobias was like, Tobit was like, look, go find any of your brother that's poor. Okay, because see, our people are poor in spirit. You see, so this word is going out to our people that's poor in spirit, and it's making them, and it'll make you rich. See, this the real spiritual come up. Okay, this is why like IUIC was marching around, all right, the Barclays Center, okay, when Kyrie Irving was going through that whole little ordeal, when he, was trending, okay, when he made his comments, all right, about, Israel, okay, and Nate did that. Why? Why did he? Because you got to think they had to be coordinated. 2,000 men, okay, that's a lot of coordination that goes with it. Okay, but why did he put all those resources towards that march? Okay, because he wanted, all right, to get a big figure in that church, man. Okay, that was gonna be a money grab for Nate. Even if Kyrie didn't donate a whole lot, but if he would have, associated himself with IUIC, that was gonna draw in more people. You see, that was gonna be a money grab, man. Okay, there's a lot of ways they could have spent, and that's why he spent so many resources to do that. Okay, but wait a minute. If you're gonna do that for Kyrie, all right, well, when you gonna march for Issachar at the border? The way they've been trafficking down there at the border, when you gonna go put those resources towards them? Okay, but see, he can't capitalize off that in no type of way. Okay, so this whole community thing, like Jake for the community, come on, man. All right. Jake out here for a show, the outward appearance of righteousness, man. Okay, if it was real, no cameras would have to be on. Okay, if it's real, no cameras will have to be on. Okay, but it's all a song and dance. with this whole community thing, man. Okay, so let's go here. So this is the book of Tobit, chapter 4. Now this is when Tobit, pretty much because you have in the scriptures, when Jake, will get older, he knows that it won't be long, before he pass on. He'll pretty much, give his son or sons, that talk. All right, we seen it with Jacob, how he did, his sons in Genesis 48, 49. Okay, you seen it with um King David. All right, how he had that talk with King Solomon. Okay, before he passed on. All right, and we're seeing the same thing with Tobit. He's gonna talk to Tobias. Pretty much. All right, leave him with a standard. And that's more valuable than money. And that's the thing that hasn't been passed down with our people as a standard. Okay, the only thing that our people pass down is a culture of self-destruction, from the diet, all right, to how they interact with each other. Okay, gangs. Our people are born into gangs. People are born into selling dope. Okay, women are born into single motherhood, thinking that's the way. Born into the prostitutes and thoughts. They're born into those things, man. Okay, that's what's been passed down amongst our people as a deaf culture, and it comes from up top. And that's another thing. See, we're battling the source of the enchantments. See, when we get on these videos and we go into these scriptures and we start to break down these strongholds, okay, that's what's really freeing our people loose. You see, it don't look glamorous, okay? It don't, you don't get clout for breaking spiritual strongholds, okay? You get clout for having space jumps, a DJ, a dance off, okay? T-shirt giveaway. So you get instant clout for that. You don't get that clout when you in the trenches of this spiritual war breaking stronghold. They don't come with clout of this world. Okay? We'll get that on the back end when Yahweh Shah come. Okay? But the thing that has our people bugged out, the enchantments that our people are operating on, well, we're directly attacking those things in the spirit. Okay? You see, we're aiming at the head of this system, man. Okay? Let's go to Tobit chapter 4, verse 3. I started 4, said, remember my son that I started at 5. This is Tobit 4 and 5, so watch it. Sprinkle this. All right, this is the book of Tobit, chapter 4, and verse 5. It says, my son, be mindful of the Lord thy power all thy days, and let not thy will be set to sin, or to transgress his commandments. Do uprightly all thy life long, and follow not the ways of the unrighteous. For if thou deal truly, thy dealing shall uh, prosper. Thou shalt prosperly succeed, all right, to thee and to all them that live justly. Give alms of thy substance, and when thou givest alms, let not thine eye be envious, neither turn thy face from the poor, and all right, and the face of our power shall be turned. It says, and the face of thy power shall not be turned away from thee. If thou hast substance, give alms accordingly. If thou have but a little, be not afraid to give according to thy little. But it says, for thou layest up good treasure for thyself against a day of necessity, because their alms do deliver from death, and suffereth not to come into darkness. For alms is a gift, all right, is a good gift unto all that give it in the sight of the Most High. Now, when you jump down, okay, all right, then jump to verse 15. It says, do that to no man which thou hatest. Drink not wine to make thee drunken, neither let drunkenness go with thee in thy journey. Neither let drunkenness go with thee in thy journey. Verse 6, all right, going to temperance. Give of thy bread to the hungry, and of thy garments to them that are naked, and according to thy abundance give alms, and let not thine eye be envious when thou givest alms. Pour out thy bread on the burial of the just, but give nothing to the wicked. Okay, but give nothing to the wicked. All right. So what we have to understand, we're clothing our people with obedience. This word is clothing our people with obedience, is feeding them with bread, which is Yahweh Shai. Okay, we're constantly feeding our people Yahweh Shai, the believers. Okay, that's the real work. Okay, anything outside of that, okay, and our personal development, off camera, okay, because the personal development is for us to be more effective when we're feeding the sheep. Okay, this is why we're here. Even in our personal development, in which we interact with Jake, man, and we not over here, like I say, being assholes and getting over on Jake, man. Okay, we utilize wisdom, and if there's an opportunity to do good, we'll do good. And there's some, Jakes, even few E's that, hey, they be doing good toward the brothers, and the Lord can have mercy on them, just for that. Okay, so we not just out here wilding out on our people, but we understand that, hey, we not here to put emphasis on the community, man. We here to put emphasis on the elect, those that are showing through their behavior that they're serious about this thing, man. Okay, so we give, okay, where it's needed, and right now our people need spiritual nourishment, man, above everything. Okay, Jake know how to party. Jake know how to cook out. Okay, you see, helping, we not here to help Jake graduate, man. Like I say, if you do it, that's cool, but that's not what we're here for. Okay, it's, like I said the other day, man. It's like trying to clean up an avalanche with a tablespoon. Okay, this big avalanche. Okay, a poor decision making from my people, and you jump out there with a tablespoon to try to straighten it out. Nah, man, you're not gonna get nowhere trying to deal with our people case by case. Okay, it's way beyond, all right, that, when it comes to the restoration of our people. Majority of our people have to be deleted. Okay? That gotta be understood. Okay? And the Lord, all right, is drawing in who he wants. Okay, so now that he's drawing in who he wants, it's on us to feed. Okay? Like right now, it's 50 people watching this live stream. We know they play with the numbers, but just going to what it say, just jump to 53. Okay, it's 53 people watching. Well, this is the priority. Okay, the 53 people that's watching right now, this is the priority. This is what we put emphasis on, man. All right, there's 53 people watching. Leave here with a better understanding of what they're a part of, man. Okay, and what they should be doing. Okay, what we should be doing going forward. Now, I want to get this. You had this account in the book of Acts, the 6th chapter. All right, it's the book of Acts, chapter 6. Okay, I'm gonna read it in the NLT. All right, it said, but as the believers rapidly multiplied, there was rumblings of the discontent. The Greek-speaking believers, which was Israelites, complained about the Hebrew-speaking believers. Okay, so you had the Grecians, okay, which were the Greek-speaking Israelites, and they was complaining about, all right, the mistreatment, okay, or the biased treatment of, those of the circumcision. And it said, complained about the Hebrew speaking believers, saying that their widows were being discriminated against in the daily distribution of food. So this complaint came to the apostles. So the 12 called a meeting of all the believers. They said, we apostles should spend our time teaching the word of the Most High, not running the food program. Okay? This was the apostles' response to this complaint. And this was amongst believers. It says, we apostles should spend our time teaching the word of God, the word of the Most High, not running the food program. Okay, we're not here to run a food program for Jake, man. Okay, a breakfast program. If you want to do that after you fulfill your obligations in this ministry, okay, cool. Okay, but that's not the priority. That's not at the forefront. Okay, we're not here to run a food program, man. We're here, we are scholars of these scriptures, man. Okay, this is what we're here. We're experts in these scriptures, man. You see, we're always learning. We're always learning. We're always taking in, taking in and learning, you know, new perspectives. Learning new customs, man. Okay, still breaking. We might have a video we did 2 years ago, and we come across some new information, and we have to revisit that, man. This is a constant labor. This is constantly toiling in this thing, man. Okay? There's hours of preparation that go into these videos, man. Hours of research. Okay? Hours of going into words, per week. Going into the Hebrew, studying the history and linking, studying what this devil is up to, man. Keeping up with what this nigga is doing real time, man. There's hours that go into that, man. There's no way we could organize, all right, goddamn the community gatherings, man. Okay? Let's go here. And it says, and so brothers, verse 3. And I'll read 2 again. All right. Um, yeah. The water brothers. Y'all see that madness, delete it immediately. Okay? The water, bro. It's Acts 6:2. It says, so the 12 called a meeting of all the believers. They said, we apostles should spend our time teaching the word of God, not running the food program. And so, brothers, select 7 men who are well respected and are full of the spirit and wisdom. We will give them this responsibility. Then we apostles can spend our time in prayer and teaching the word. Okay? We can spend our time in prayer and teaching the word, man. Okay? We are not here, okay, to be these community activists. Jake got their people for that. Jake got Charleston White, Dr. Umar Johnson, who else some more of these community activists, nigga? They got Kanye, okay? They got Kyrie Irving. You see, Jake got their community activists, man. Okay, Sinetta, okay? All right, they got their community activists, man. It is not us. You see, they got plenty of Jakes that's out there, there's activists in the community, and, you know, football camps and basketball camps. That ain't us, man. Some brothers used to be into that, man, but that's not us. Okay? It's not what we're here for, man. If you got free time and you dibble and dabble in things, cool, man. Hey, I'm all for it. Okay? But try to make this merge that with the ministry. Nah, man, it's off. Okay? And the scriptures just said that. All right, even Yahweh Shai. Let's get this, and we'll get ready to close out, man. All right, this is the book of Luke, chapter 9. It's the book of Luke, chapter 9, verse. Get to the point. And I want to read this, Luke 9 and 57. It says, and it came to pass that as they went in the way, a certain man said unto him, Lord, I will follow thee whithersoever thou goest. Okay? And Yahweh Shah said unto him, the foxes have holes, and the birds of the air have nests, but the Son of Man have not where to lay his head. Okay, so wait a minute. Yahweh Shah say he didn't even have nowhere to lay his head. So would they call Yahweh Shah a bum? Okay? Would they consider Yahweh Shah a bum? This Jake that wanted to follow Yahweh Shah, like, look, the fox have holes, the bird have nests. The Son of Man don't even have nowhere to lay his head because he was on the move. Okay? He was on the move. You see? So I would wonder what would he be considered as, man? Okay? So let's keep reading. It says, and he said unto another, follow me. But he said, suffer me first to go bury my father. Yahushua said unto him, let the dead bury the dead, but go thou and preach the kingdom of the Most High. So I want to read this in the NLT. Luke 9:60 says, but Yahushua told him, let the spiritual dead, all right, bury their own dead. Your duty is to go and preach about the kingdom of the Most High. Okay? Plain and simple, man. Let the spiritually dead bury the spiritually dead. Okay? Your duty, all right, what I'm calling you to do is preach about my kingdom. Get my people ready for my kingdom. Okay? Get the believers ready. Okay? The predestined elect that will be drawn to this word and begin to follow this word. Get them ready for my kingdom that I'm finna bring to the earth. That's our duty. Okay? Every brother got their own portion. Okay? Every brother got their own lot in this ministry. Okay? But it's centered around preaching to Israel this kingdom of Yahushua that's to come. Not Christ. Okay? Not the next book bag giveaway. Okay? Or scholarship, whatever they got going on over there, man. Or a dance off. All right? That's of this world. That's low level. All right? And that's not effective towards the condition of our people. This word is changing the elect, man. Okay? Them gimmicks ain't changing nobody. Okay? Nigga just come eat, and now you just gave this nigga more protein to go be a nigga, man. Okay? You just giving these niggas more protein to go destroy themselves, man. You see? So that's the point, man. Just want to go into that, Lord will, you brothers. All right, and you sisters edified. All right. We know what our duty is, man. All right, and that's to prepare the minds of our people as we're being prepared, okay, for a righteous kingdom that's to come. To endure the straight gate, okay. Hey, to be a watchman, stay in tune with prophecy, man. Okay. So, yeah, Lord will, you brothers and you sisters edified. Till next time I say Shalom. Kwam Yashala. Abba Babal soon. Shalom.